गाइस, दिस इज सागर भट्ट एंड वेलकम टू दिस न्यू वीडियो जहां पे हम स्टॉक मार्केट साइकिल्स के बारे में बात करने जा रहे हैं एंड हाउ स्टॉक मार्केट मूव्स थ्रू डिफरेंट साइकिल्स। द रीजन बिहाइंड डूइंग दिस वीडियो, नाउ अगर आपको एक प्रॉफिटेबल स्ट्रेटजी बिल्ड करना है देन यू हैव टू हैव एन आइडिया ऑफ हाउ स्टॉक मार्केट हैज मूव्ड इन द पास्ट। Now, just by studying the stock market past doesn't mean that you can predict the future, but if you know how the stock market has moved in the past, एक idea मिल जाएगा कि how stock market goes through different cycles, how stock market goes from bull market to bear market to sideways market, and then how the cycle continues. And this is exactly what we are going to learn in this video. We want to understand market cycles. पहले समझते हैं what is bull market, what is bear market and what is sideways market. आप यहाँ पे मेरा ट्रेडिंग व्यू का चार्ट देख सकते हो and these are the different cycles that we see in the market. For example, bull market में market makes higher highs and higher lows and the overall trend is up. And in bear market, market makes lower lows and lower highs and the overall trend is down. And sideways market में market do not make any new highs or lows. Instead, it stays inside a range and that is why we consider this at a sideways market. For example, अगर आप real chart देखते हो then Nifty from 2016 to 2020, this is what we can consider as a bull market, because if you see from 2016 the market is continuously making higher highs and higher lows and it's continuously rallying up. So this is what we consider as a bull market. And if you want to talk about bear market, हम 2008 check कर सकते हैं when we were going through the financial crisis, and this is when market was making lower highs and lower lows like this. This is what we consider as a bear market. And talking about sideways market, अगर आप देखते हो from 2010 to 2014 market was in a complete sideways motion. It did not make any new highs. So from 2010 to almost the end of 2014, you can see market was inside a range and without making any new highs or lows. And this is what we consider as the sideways market. इसमें ये प्रॉब्लम है कि सेंसेक्स हैज ओनली 40 years of history. So अगर आप देखते हो सेंसेक्स started in 1979 or 1980 and hence it has only 40 years of history. For that reason इस वीडियो में हम फोकस करेंगे डाउ जोन्स इंडेक्स. Dow Jones Index is an American stock market index which has more than 120 years of history. So when you are going through Dow Jones Index, we will understand how the stock market has performed in the past 100 years. And remember, in the past 100 years, हम जा चुके हैं through 2 world wars, 1 Great Depression and tens of market crashes. Analysis आप देख सकते हो from the year 1901 to 1921 market ने कोई रिटर्न नहीं दिया और इट गेव जस्ट 10 और 20% रिटर्न. तो अगर आप एक इन्वेस्टर और एक इक्विटी ट्रेडर होते तो इस टाइम पे आपने कोई भी रिटर्न्स नहीं बनाए होते. एंड आप देख सकते हो इनिशियली द मार्केट वाज इन साइडवेज मोशन एंड इन 1914 दिस व्हेन द वर्ल्ड वॉर 1 स्टार्टेड. एंड जैसे ही वॉर स्टार्ट हुआ यू कैन सी द मार्केट डबल फ्रॉम 50 टू ऑलमोस्ट अ पीक ऑफ 110 एंड देन अगेन कमिंग बैक टू द लोज. एंड फाइनली 1918 द वर्ल्ड वॉर 1 एंडेड एंड मार्केट ने फिर से एक बहुत अच्छा रैली दिखाया, बट इन द एंड इट केम बैक टू द सेम प्लेस वेयर इट हैड स्टार्टेड इट्स रैली ऑलमोस्ट 15 years ago. In 1921 market would have found its low and क्योंकि war भी end हुआ था and because American economy was in good shape we would see a bull run. So from 1921 एक बहुत अच्छा रैली आप देख सकते हो till 1929 where the market rallied, the index itself rallied from 60 to all the highs to 370. that is more than 6 times return in a span of 9 years. तो अगर मार्केट इंडेक्स ने ही 6 times रिटर्न that is 600% रिटर्न दिया है तो इंडिविजुअल स्टॉक्स ने तो बहुत अच्छा परफॉर्म किया होगा. एंड दिस कैन बी कंसिडर्ड एज द फर्स्ट बुल रन. In 1929 after 9 years of bull run the bubble would burst and this is what we famously known as the Great Depression. So in 1929 we entered a bear market where the market lost within a span of 3 years 90% of its total value. तो अगर इंडेक्स ने 90% वैल्यू खो दिया है इन स्पैन ऑफ 3 years, तो थिंक अबाउट इंडिविजुअल स्टॉक्स. Making its low in 1932, finally the market would slowly start to recover and in 1939 would mark the start of the World War II. and जैसे ही World War II start होता है we see the market again fall and this World War would continue for almost 6 years and finally end in 1945. And जैसे ही वर्ल्ड वॉर एंड होता है आप देख सकते हो मार्केट स्टार्टेड टू परफॉर्म वेल. द बैड थिंग अबाउट द डिप्रेशन इज इफ यू वेर एन इन्वेस्टर इन दिस डिप्रेशन एंड अगर आपने 1929 पे इन्वेस्ट किया था इन द पीक्स, इट वुड टेक more than 20 years for you to recover your money back. More than 25 years. तो अगर किसी ने यहाँ पे इन्वेस्ट किया होता, it would take him more than 25 years just to get your entire amount back. In 1955, we would break the all-time high and this would start again the bull run. So from 1955 for the next 10 years, we would have an uninterrupted bull run. बीच में आप देख सकते हो एक 25% का क्रैश भी हुआ था एंड दिस इज व्हाट वी कॉल एज द क्यूबन क्राइसिस एंड दिस वाज व्हेन देयर वाज फियर्स ऑफ वर्ल्ड वॉर 3 स्टार्टिंग एंड थैंकफुली दैट डिड नॉट हैपन. 66 we would enter a sideways market for the next 20 years. Imagine being in a sideways market for the next 20 years, meaning if anyone would have invested in 1966, for him to get his returns back, for him to get his money back, it would take him more than 20 years. And बीच में आप देख सकते हो in 1971 the gold standard was removed by the American president, meaning until then if $1 was printed by the American government, $1 worth of gold was kept in the central bank, and after this date that changed. And also in 1973 there was something called the OPEC scandal where the market again crashed by more than 45%, and we would be in a sideways market for more than 20 years. After 20 years of being stuck in sideways zone, market comes out of the zone in 1982 and there was a small retracement in 1984. From this would start the next bull run, which would be called the mother of all bull runs. आप देख सकते हो in the start of bull run market is in 1000 and for the next 15 years we would see a huge rally in the market rallying all the way from 1000 to the peak of 12,000 in the year 2000. So market rallies 1200% in a span of 15 years, which is more than what you have seen in history. अगर market ही almost 12 times return दे रहा है आपको, then think about individual stocks. And of course there was a small crash in between which we call as the Black Monday, where you can see within a span of few weeks market fell by 40% and then soon it recovered by the end of the year. And billionaire investors like Warren Buffett and other investors are said to make most money in this bull run. Year 2000, we all know the famous dot-com bubble which happened, and that started the next bear market where market entered into downward direction for almost 2-3 years and it lost again 40%, and then again the bull run would resume. From 2003 we saw the market go from 7,500 to a peak of 14,000, almost 100% return in span of 5 years, and then started the financial crisis of 2008 where you can see market lost more than 50% return. So if you see, the people who would have bought in all the crashes would have made really good returns. And after the 2008 crisis, again we had a very good rally from the bottom in 2009. From 6,000 level, the market would go on to rally for the next 12 years, all the way from 6,000 to a peak of 30,000. That is 5-time return in 12 years. And then finally, we all know the coronavirus pandemic that happened in 2020, and because of that the market again fell by 40% in a span of few weeks, and then here we are. How the market has performed in the past 100 years. So here are the top 3 takeaways for this video. Number 1, the market conditions are always changing. We have seen market where market is in sideways for more than 20 years. We have seen markets where the market continuously rallies for 10-15 years. And we have also seen market crash where the market has lost more than 90% of its value. Number 2, people who bought during the crash made crazy more returns than an average investor. Number 3, the overall direction of market is always up in long term, and hence don't forget to invest. That's it for this video, guys. I hope it was helpful. If you're watching this till now, then comment yes so that I know, and also subscribe to the channel for more such amazing content. I'll see you next time.